Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Let's Build Kings Island. In this episode, we start out by working on a station for the Flying Ace aerial chase ride that I showed off in the first part. I start out by using the colored walls station. We go with kind of an orange station. I really like the color walls. I feel like they really look great for any sort of Cedar Fair build. So I start out by laying down a slate floor for the station. I don't use brick that much in the color walls section, because I've had problems when I go to do this and lay down the floor, because sometimes the blocks just like glitch out. It looks like crap. These sometimes can glitch out a little bit too, but not nearly as bad. The problem is, like, sometimes with the mobile version, sometimes when you go to build, like, I built this on a little bit of a hilly terrain, as I had to terraform to be able to have the coaster go down, because sometimes it just couldn't make it, or a track was in the way. This is a really compact coaster. It's like built on the edge of the park. There's not a lot of space in this area, and it kind of boxes in Plant Snoopy. Like, I really want to find a way how to see if I can get the path to either go underground or something to get to the other end, because again, like I said in the first part, all the buildings are like really close together, so and then I start out by laying. Next, I start putting down a scaffolding. I saw this build design in one of my first Roller Coaster Tycoon Let's Plays that I watched, and the guy I watched use this design, and I loved it so much, and I use it for a lot of my stations. It's this start out by putting scaffolding, and then we add the wall girders later on in the process. So here I am going and adding the wall girders, and then we use the third height wall above it. Now the trick is with this is you gotta watch that the train is not hitting the top of the wall, or any person riding the coaster is hitting. But for an inverted coaster, that's not really a problem because the track is below, so it worked out great. And I like it, kind of like goes right through the track. But for a non-inverted style coaster, you gotta watch. Sometimes I like to put the camera on pause and watch as the coaster enters. I have a problem with the one piece there. Seem to not really want to go there because of the track, even though I'm pretty sure it's not even in the way at all. So I ended up just putting like a slab right there to cover that part of the building rather than just having a big gaping hole. But if anybody's got any ideas for that part of the wall, I'd really appreciate that. And here I'm just adding the third height wall. So rather than just putting the little top roof part to connect those two roofs together, I always like to do like a little bit of a lip and put 2 windows. I feel like it helps to open the build up more and make the building not feel like you're in prison. Yeah, I really don't like that part. That little slab there, I think it looks like shit. So, if anybody's got any ideas, like I said. And here I start to color the walls. And we're going to change that back over to white because it looks better. And color the queue. Next part of this video, we work on building another station for the log flume, the Race for Your Life trolley run. Oh. And go back in and cover the terrain in a nice texture so it doesn't look like, you know, it's in the middle of nowhere. I had to do a lot of terrain with that. This one was a little bit tricky as I was designing it, but I really like how the ending, how the turnout looked. And just like in my last part, station, I start by laying down. I went with the Western Town Hall. I've always liked this build, and for the log flume, I thought that would fit great. To build like a log cabin. I think that's how the station is in real life. If not, oh well. But I didn't put any of those sheriff or bank signs because that's gonna take it way too far. But this, I actually did 2 segments for this station. So there's this one, and then there's 2 buildings because the lift hill goes right over the station. So I knew when building this ride that the station was gonna be interesting, and this station was kind of challenged my build style because it had so many different elements to it. Like the one part right there at the end, I had to turn that into a little bit of a porch. I think the turnout was pretty cool in the end. And here I am just working on this part. This front part. I always like those attractions that interact with buildings and go through them. And I think having your log flume go right through your station is just really neat. Yeah. And the queue also goes over it. The log flume goes over it multiple times, like 2. And I next put a fence on this part and layer this slightly angled roof design. And we're gonna end by just putting a bunch of the last roof piece on this. following me. So we kind of got like a little bit of a cabin going on here. I actually end up making it look like kind of like 3 buildings. So this next part is probably the biggest part of the building. This also has the queue in it. Okay, so now we start working on the porch of the station. This overhead part. In the end, it turns out really nice. A little bit of a window right there. And yes, no one glitches through it. It's close, but I mean, but this lift hill that I built is also close going as you go up. But I think I pretty much used about almost every single piece in this wall set. In ways that make sense, of course. Now this part we had to make it look like it glitched through, but this part is going to be covered up, only be visible on the ride. Finishing up the porch here, part of the ride. I tried to add those porch pillars. They would not go on. So we have not exactly a floating roof, but I mean, I wish I would have been able to get that roof better. But it looks okay. Just finishing up the second part with the queue. So we might actually have 4 parts of this building. Depends. We're adding this real steep roof. It's a nice contrast to the other roof kinds. Helps this part to stick out. So the building, instead of looking like one building, it looks like many buildings that are kind of all connected. And I contemplated about just leaving it open like that, but I'm kind of happy I, in the end, decided to cover up to hide that shame of the glitching walls. I might remove that top window, I don't know. Oh, I said not to go. Good. Because I was probably going to remove that anyway. And plus that looks a lot better. And the last part, I decided to make it look like part of the building, not just like a bridge. So use the third height walls to kind of just put this part together. I might add like a window down there or something. And in this last part, I'm just checking that it can actually make it through that, like I said. Definitely always do it with all your builds, especially that exit part. It's close, but it's like not terrible. Looks good. I like how it goes right through there. And in this last part, I'm showing you another station that I created for the big log flume, the shoot rapid Congo Falls. I just used the brick design and came up with this station. And I also put brick through the pool so it doesn't just have dirt, it's actually brick. Looks manufactured, which is what I was hoping for. I did the same thing with the log flume as well. let me know what you think about what we've done so far. If you have any suggestions or comments, put them in the chat in the comment section below. Definitely thought what I should do about that wall piece right there. I'm not a big fan of that. And with that, I want to thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.